Everyone, it's TB Shores. It is March the 6th, 2021. It is 7:51 p.m. Now, we were just in that last video, we were discussing some things in 2 Thessalonians, and I'm trying to think where exactly we did go. Sometimes I get to talking, and until I listen to my video, I'm not even sure what all was said. But we talked about 2 Thessalonians and trust in the Lord. In Psalm 91, how, let's see, there it is, how he is supposed to be to us, that refuge and fortress. Psalm 91:2 says, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In him will I trust. And it's because of not trusting his promises, okay? Not trusting his promises is where we see, because they received not the love of the truth. They didn't receive the love of the truth of his promise, of what he would be to them, of his blood covering, his protection for us. Like I said, going back to Exodus, how his blood covering is the protection that's needed to keep the destroyer from entering our dwelling, just as was back at the time of the first Passover. The thing, though, that I wanted to get into in this video that connects to this is when I was reading this, and I was seeing these understandings within 2 Thessalonians that I had not seen before. I think I mentioned it in a video earlier, I'm not sure just which one, but how that I had, hold on a second here. Okay, in my notebook. It was on the 19th of February, and I had asked the Lord if he would give me a dream confirming what I was understanding about 2 Thessalonians and the connection to the destruction of the temple. And that night I had two dreams, and I hadn't had a dream in, I don't know, a few weeks, roughly, give or take. And so that night I had two dreams, and the first dream, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you both of them. The first dream was about my husband and I. We had a camper, and in this camper, someone had changed the kitchen sink in it. They had moved it to another counter where it didn't belong, and the water didn't work right, and the drain was broken, and it was useless. It was no good to us. We didn't even want the camper anymore because the kitchen sink had been ruined. And it was very simple, short, simplistic dream. But what I felt the Lord was leading me to understand is the camper represents that temporary dwelling. This body is our temporary dwelling. And the sink being changed and messed up to where the water didn't flow right and it didn't drain right, the drain was broken, represents, the water represents, wait a minute, let me back up. It being the kitchen. The kitchen is the place where we consume things. We take things in, okay? So this being the kitchen sink is very significant because it's about the water we take in. Not that we bathe with, but the water we take in. So in this temporary dwelling, the taking in of water had been altered, had been changed to where it was no good anymore. And the flow of the water coming in and leaving was messed up. It was not usable anymore. And so what the Lord was showing me through this dream is that it does tie in. He gave me the dream I asked for because it's about showing me that this temporary dwelling, this temple of flesh that is our temporary dwelling. In the dream, the flow of the living water, that's what the water represents. The flow of the living water had been changed. It no longer flowed in and out the way that it was supposed to in this temporary dwelling that represented the flesh, okay? So that dream to me seemed to be confirming what I had asked the Lord, because it was showing me that the living water, which is Jesus, was no longer, it had changed. Something had changed in that particular temporary dwelling to where the flow of the living water, which is Jesus, no longer flowed like it did before. It no longer flowed through this temporary dwelling. It was the intake, the consuming of it was no longer able to be done. It had been ruined, so to speak. It had been altered to where it did not function right anymore. The intake of the living water did not function right anymore. So that dream seemed to be confirming to me that what I was seeing in 2 Thessalonians, because that's what I'd asked the Lord for, was to confirm, was I understanding correctly that this in 2 Thessalonians was what he was showing me was about the altering of the receiving of the Lord that will come from the stick. Okay. The second dream I had, and it was, I had woke up and I fell back to sleep, and this dream was very simple. It was like I was seeing someone from behind, just from the shoulders up, or from the chest up, I should say. But I was seeing them from behind. And the back of their head looked like a computer. But when I come around to the front, it looked like a normal face. And the person that this was supposed to be in this dream, their name was Grayson. And the Lord led me to understand that it was about, bear with me here, I want to find, pretty sure I have it. Right here it is. The Lord led me to understand that it is about, I want to blow that up just a bit. Understanding what gray means. The person's name was Grayson. So gray, the Lord led me to understand it was about what gray means, okay? And when we look at the name, the color gray, the word gray, the Lord led me to look this up. It says colorless, nondescript, unremarkable, faceless, lifeless, soulless, passionless, spiritless. And I'm going to stop there because I think you get the idea. So this person that looked like a computer from behind, but their face looked normal, was represented, the understanding of it was represented in the name. And it's about that merging of machine and person. machine and body, and what that's going to do, okay? What that is going to do is going to make them unremarkable, lifeless, soulless, spiritless, nondescript, just neutral, okay? It's going to take away their personality. There are a lot of things I would like to get into about this, but right now I just want to focus on the dreams. So you can see from these dreams, the first one was showing that the flow of the living water, which is the Lord, had been interrupted, okay? It had been changed and altered to where it no longer flowed like it should into this temporary dwelling of the flesh represented by the camper, temporary dwelling. Okay, and the second dream was showing the merging of machine and flesh, and how it creates, I guess you could say, a grayness, a blankness within, okay? I'm going to leave that at that for the moment. I just wanted to explain these dreams so you could see that my confirmation for my understanding of what I was seeing here about the falling away, okay, about this stick and its effects is going to create a falling away because of what it does. It like in the first dream, it restricts or inhibits or changes the flow of the living water, the flow of the Lord within us. And number two, it's about the machine and the flesh joining as one and what it will do when that happens. I hope you can see that the dreams, why the dreams were confirmation to me about this falling away, because I was wanting to make sure that I was understanding correctly before I presented anything, and how that the stick is going to create a falling away. I'm trying to, yeah, okay, we're going to get into this next about God, excuse me, about the man or the son of perdition sitting in the temple as God, showing himself as God. I think that'll be the next thing that we cover, unless the Lord has me to add something to this. But I just wanted to clarify why I felt I had confirmation from the Lord about this, because I specifically asked for dream on it, and I received two that I do believe ties into it. And as I get into explaining some more details about this sitting in the temple as God, I think it'll become a little more clear. But I'm going to cut this off here. I love y'all. Bye-bye.